everybody, this is Master Logan, the Iron Skillet. Welcome back to another episode. To the left of me, I have Miss Shatora Lane, T-Clim TV on the boards, Bullwhip himself, Choices Out Now, Brett the Hitman Johnson, and special guest DJ OPHIE in the building. What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Big whoops, big whoops.
What up?
I want to go on record and say this is a long time coming. We had an interview with OPHIE, I think it was about a year ago. It was right around the time a Late Bloomer dropped. But we all couldn't be here, so Jett Johnson took over the reins and took lead on that interview. So I'm glad we can all get in here and do an actual Iron Skillet podcast and do my man OPHIE right for this one.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
You've been grinding.
Hustling.
Yeah, it's been a wild year, for sure.
Wild year, to say the least. I want to start at the beginning. Is that cool? Can we all start from the beginning? All right. So, what initially got you into music? Because like back when we were in high school, I don't remember or recall you doing music. Or you might have, but you know what I mean? Like, what got you into it? When was it? You know,
I've done it my whole life.
Really?
Since I can remember. My whole family's music, so it was just like natural to see an instrument and be drawn to it. And I always just messed around. I was actually just watching home videos today, me playing like a little drum set.
Nice.
Just always something I've been drawn to. I don't know if I just looked up to my dad in that way.
What'd your pops do?
He was a piano player. Okay. Yeah, he was in a lot of bands. He sang really well. And I always just try to mock him, like on the piano. So, you know, just my whole life of doing that, you eventually learn some things.
We're like 2 minutes in, and you've already mentioned drums, piano, guitar. What don't you play?
I mean, that's pretty much all. I play guitar, you know. I can make drum sounds on the keyboard. But play bass, obviously. I mean, that's almost the same thing as guitar, yeah. If you can do one, you can do the other. Piano, I mean, I can mess around on piano, but I'm a guitar player.
Is that the first? Is that what you started with?
I started with piano.
Started with piano.
Yeah.
When you learn how to play piano, does it make it easier to learn like chords and keys on other instruments?
Yeah, I feel like a piano is laid out. So like all your notes are laid out, and it just makes it easy to go from there to anything else.
I feel it.
But I never really learned how to play piano per se, like by notes. I just kind of play what sounded good.
Yeah.
And then just got a guitar and did the same thing with that. And I mean, what helps you really with instruments and not if you don't really know what you're doing is you can just kind of learn songs that you like.
Yeah.
And then you kind of pick that style up, you know what I mean? And then you learn from there.
I feel it.
That's kind of what I did.
That's dope. Did you have a band in high school? I feel like, I don't know.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
I had a band in middle school.
In middle school?
I was just in the dark and didn't know nothing.
I was like, I
gotta hear this.
I heard about you being in a band when you were younger.
Seventh grade. 3-piece punk rock band. Underwater Fire was the name.
Underwater Fire.
I was at a battle of the bands at the Sharando pool that you guys played at, I think. Right?
That was us, yeah.
Y'all played that?
Played a few of those,
Nice.
Were you guys doing original like music, or were you just doing covers?
Originals.
Oh,
Strictly
man.
originals.
Who
Like,
was the singer?
me.
You were the singer too?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bruh.
It was bad, dude.
I wonder
was
what your
bad.
I wonder what your songs
Dark
were like
days.
in like
Oh, you can
7th
listen to them.
grade.
They're online. They're on MySpace.
That's wild.
If you can still bring that up, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's all there. I mean, all this stuff we did, and it's terrible.
Was it Fire Underwater?
Underwater Fire.
Underwater
We got it
Fire.
from the
That's
internet.
hard.
That's
We looked up band names, and we were like, that's cool.
Band name generator?
Yeah,
Who,
and then like we got made fun of a lot because it's kind of like a really corny name. But
Nah, that's
You know,
I
hard.
kind of like it.
Yeah.
who else was in
It's
the
better than Jett Johnson.
Oh,
I'm just playing.
who else was in your band with you?
my neighbor Tyler Rittenauer, and then another buddy of mine, JJ Martinson, who has a band now called Ola Sweet, and they're cool. And it's my best friend. I mean, we still collaborate and stuff, but yeah, just us three.
That's super lit.
It was cool. I mean, we were like the only ones really doing that at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think a lot of people were just like, "Oh, this is cool," even though it like sounded terrible.
But isn't it crazy how at the time you think it sounds great? Like at the time you're like, I'm going.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's fun. That's what matters. It's just a
Yeah.
lot of fun. And we played some shows. We were like playing every weekend for a while, so we felt like rock stars.
Yeah.
And we played a battle of bands, and then like the scene at that time was like ska punk, pop punk, like, you know, Blink-182, that kind of stuff. And then it got like heavy which we kind of got into that, and we played some of that stuff at the Battle of the Bands. We got like second place, but then we couldn't keep up with that. So
I feel it.
and I didn't play music like in public or like release anything until late bloomer. From
That's
then
a
until late
crazy
bloomer.
break.
But I played that whole time. It's just I didn't. I was like,
didn't put it out to the world.
Just, you know.
I remember in high school when you did the talent show, I think it was, you did Umbrella and killed that shit.
By
Thank you.
Rihanna?
Yeah,
Wow. That was a lot
I
of
remember
fun.
that.
I won an award
guitar?
for that actually. Yeah.
That was
What?
I won Audience Choice,
It was awesome.
Yeah, I think
That was the first time I ever saw you like play music.
and that was the first time I played in front of anybody. So like, I remember before that someone had stole my wallet backstage, and like these are all my friends that I'm doing this with. You know, so I'm
Right.
like who took my wallet?
Yeah.
And then I was like freaking out because I had to play in front of like my entire high school, which nobody even knew that I played. And yeah, it was worth it. But that was the most nervous I've ever been by far.
Was that the same year that Kyle did his ribbon?
Same, yeah, that was the
ribbon,
same show.
his ribbon dance.
Yeah, that was the same show.
It was funny.
It was a hell of a show. Nick Bakos.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that was so cringy.
He rapped "Lose Yourself."
Oh my, the
Nick.
whole place was cringing. They were
I
just
think
like,
we were really drunk and high, though. We showed up like really fucked
He was
up.
nervous, man. We were backstage, and I can play that on guitar. So we were practicing backstage, and he was doing fine. But
He got on stage.
yeah, the
He
stage
fucked
will
up.
do it to you, man.
it was rough.
That's crazy.
That was
good
a good show.
a crazy show, man. It's
It was fun.
It's completely different when you're practicing or you're just around friends, and then you hit that stage, and it's a whole different world.
for sure. Whole different ball game.
How do you? Okay, so you've been playing a lot lately. Well, you know, more recently since late bloomers dropped. How do you go about that? And you're nervous or whatever. Like you just get up and play, or
I mean, you got to really prepare at home. You got to have everything just ready to go, which I'm not very good at that,
yeah,
being honest. But I kind of just get up there and do my thing,
yeah.
And
You told me you still get pretty nervous before shows, right?
so nervous. I mean, it never goes away. I don't know why.
I mean,
But
I
same
get
here.
nervous too. I think everyone does.
Because it
Oh,
matters
yeah,
to
definitely.
you. I
Yeah,
think
it
that's
matters.
why.
It's like you in your purest form.
Yeah.
And other people are seeing that. When you're used to being in your
Mhm.
basement doing that,
Mhm.
and then you bring it out to other people, it's like you're really vulnerable. So
Breaking out of a show,
Yeah.
like
so I always get nervous. But yeah, I feel like a lot of times I do it, I don't even remember it.
Really?
Just because I'm so like,
No, you're caught in
into
the
it.
moment, or
Either that or just like really drunk.
or
Just
that
like,
too.
let's go for
It's
it.
been those times before, which isn't good.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
I don't play it very well when I'm drunk.
We seen Jett
I know.
end
I
up
wanted,
like that.
I wanted to ask you. So, where did you go to? Did you go to Radford?
I did.
Where did you go? Because I know, like, I've ran into you after college. You're really heavy in the music scene. What did you study there? And like, I feel like music. I've heard that you guys were still, throwing parties, bringing bands in. Like, how was music still a part of your life at that point in time?
I was probably barely playing. I mean,
Yeah.
I just had very little space to do anything. So, I mean, I didn't have any recording equipment. For a while, my freshman year, I didn't even have a guitar there. So, yeah, I was kind of like just not very active. And I regret that. There's a great music scene in Radford. I mean, especially where I lived, like in the neighborhood, there was just a lot you could do. And I don't know. I think I was just more worried about schoolwork.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it just takes a lot of your time. And then I was working too. And then, partying and
That's
stuff.
That's a grind
Gets
in
in the way.
itself.
It is,
It's
yeah.
a grind
Classic
in
college
itself.
kid story.
It is. But there's college kids who,
No, definitely.
they do it like
Yeah.
really well. So you just got to.
yeah, we had the one show in y'all's basement.
That's what I was
was
gonna
gonna
ask
ask
because
if-
I
yeah.
feel like you guys
Yeah.
were still bringing people through to play music or try to share music in some way.
For sure. I mean, I just like, I respected the music scene either in Radford or here. So like, me and Brett go way back, and then, Mike's from here. So it's like, let's have some Winchester guys come down here and play. And it was like the greatest party ever, man. We
It
like,
was-
built like stage.
I was actually at that party.
Fucking
was really weird.
insane.
It was so cool. I mean, we had like a backstage, and they were, back there before the show. And
Yeah,
then
we
they
were
came
just
out.
like,
They did their set.
it was crazy because the basement was like 7 feet tall.
It was like
Yeah, it was.
And there was a platform too, wasn't there? A
Yeah.
stage. There was a
There
stage.
was 2 pallets that we put carpet over, and that was the stage.
there you go, there you go.
No, dude, it was like one of the most fun times of my life.
Yeah, it was like
We were
movie,
just
movie stuff.
Everyone was just like completely destroyed out of their minds.
Everybody was drinking
Going
Bombay
ham.
too.
We're like performing and like just like a bunch of girls are like in front of the stage, and like the homies, whoever, like Tylen or whoever was on stage, just had a handle of fucking like tequila and was just pouring it down the line.
You're like living the rock star
It
life.
was crazy. I was like, oh my god, I'm out of here. I'm famous.
I've made it.
And then we rap battled for a while.
Yeah, no.
That's
I think
crazy.
I was too faded by that point.
It was like 8 Mile.
That's
cool.
that's hilarious.
It was so
A
much
lot of
fun.
8 Mile references already.
Were you studying anything that had to do with like music, or was it business? Like,
Yeah, I plan on using it for music. I was a media studies, so
Okay.
like production, making videos and stuff, just making content and studying up on that. And I always plan to use that for my music and stuff, which it has helped a lot. But I just they train you for like professional like news kind
Yeah.
of like, and they didn't really hone in on like artists or like like entertainment kind
For
of.
sure.
It's more like news. So
You ran the university radio, didn't you?
I did, yeah, for a year.
what was
It
that like?
That was amazing. That's the coolest thing probably I've done because it's a public station, so there's no really limits. I mean, you have so many licenses, so you can get away with playing pretty much whatever you want to play. So you could have your own show like 7 o'clock at night and just like play whatever you want to play. Had to be
Wow.
edited, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And then you like host it live. I mean, nothing is live in radio anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like nerve wracking. You're like mixing in your music and you talking while you're live on air.
That's funny. 2 weeks ago, we had J-Law on, and we had to talk because he used to have a radio show at Shepherd University. Same concept, live and everything. It's an FM station, and also,
Universities do it, yeah.
dude, that's so cool. You got to do that, and seeing the ins and outs of how radios run, and like you said, the license and everything. Like, I feel like right there, you got a leg up on the competition.
For sure. And when I dropped labeling, that's kind of what I did. Is I reached out to like music directors and stuff. Because what music directors do is they get distributors that like hand them the music, and they say like, "Oh, we want you to play this. This is our top 1, top 2," and a music director would be like, "Well, that's cool, but we don't really like that, and you don't have to play it if you don't want to." But
Well, yeah.
Food for thought, right there.
That probably helped you a little bit towards like DJing and live performing, because even though you're not in front of a crowd, but you're still doing it live at or on the radio. So I'm sure in some aspects that might have helped a little
yeah,
bit.
it adds to like that live, on the
Pressure.
spot.
You can't really fuck up, I guess, or at least you gotta adapt.
Yeah, I fucked up many times.
Just let
you
it
get
go.
that out of the way, and then you don't have to worry about it as much.
Well, I mean, you hear him right now. He sounds like a natural on the mic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
He knows what he's doing.
When you came back home from college, I know I ran into you. Were you affiliated with one of the radio stations here ever locally? Because
Yeah.
I feel like I ran into you downtown, and you were like, I don't know if you worked for them, but
I
like,
do. Yeah, part-time for iHeartMedia.
that's
here in
awesome.
Winchester, yeah.
That's
It's a lot of fun. I love those guys.
Yeah,
They're so smart. They teach me a lot too. I learn a lot from them, and kind of learn the ins and the outs of the industry there too. So that helps.
how did that come about? Like, were you just like reaching out, like trying to? Yeah.
Pretty much. I graduated and reached out to them, and they just happened to be looking for a part-timer, so they brought me on. I was super excited.
Yeah,
Been there for 5 years about.
that's
so.
super lit.
Yeah.
What do you? My bad. What type of stuff do you do like within that?
Everything.
Yeah.
I'm not really on the air, which is cool. I kind of prefer it that way, but I do a lot of programming. The stuff you're hearing all day long. I'm helping put that stuff in there
Together.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'll run like a 30-second spot, commercial, whatever. Do a voiceover for that. Do a lot of the events. That's why you like see me down in the mall.
Yeah.
For events and stuff. We just kind of stand there and we're just out there. That way
That's-
people got us in their minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's super lit.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. I like it.
I want to bring up, so it was about a year ago, OPHIE opened for Nappy Roots at Brightbox, and me and Trav got to cover it, and I thought it was one of the most inspiring performances for me because of the way he performed it. So he literally, it was just a one-man band up there, and he made the drum looped it, and then picked up the guitar, played over the drum loop he just made, which these are all original songs,
Yeah.
by the way, and then he would sing. and it just blew my mind that he literally just made a song on stage, and maybe a quarter of the crowd even knew what he was doing and how technical it was. And I gotta give you props, bro. Like,
Thank you.
What made you want to take your live performance in that direction? Like, I know you're a one-man band up there, and you know there's only so many ways you can do it. Like, you could have literally just played the drum track, but what made you want to go about it in that aspect?
I feel like if I can do it, then I should do it. Just to, I mean, I don't know. It's just like I can do it, so
Yeah, why not?
I'm gonna go up there. I could do the drum beat real quick. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like, you know, it takes a lot of hard work and
Yeah, I mean,
preparation.
yeah.
It's I would rather not do it. I mean, I'd rather just have like my backtrack. and
Yeah,
play
just push
along.
play and go.
Yeah, but I mean, I just that's at the time that's the way I knew how to do it and to put on a good show.
Yeah, it makes the live experience
Yeah.
way better for the viewer because they're seeing you do it. You know, you're not just hitting play and then like doing it. They're watching you build it. You know, so
I mean, to compare that to like a DJ, you go watch a DJ. I mean, you're not really sure what he's doing if you don't know how to DJ.
True.
Which I don't really know how, but I mean, I go to like see a DJ. I'm like, well, what is he really doing up there?
Yeah.
I mean, is he just like messing around, like pressing
That's what I
play?
always wonder. Like they're just up there like
Yeah.
twisting knobs. I'm like, what knobs are you twisting? Because I don't hear anything changing.
And like, I'm sure that they're really doing what you hear. I'm
Yeah.
sure they're doing all of that, but I just think it's cool to put like it's part of the draw. Like you want to impress people. That's my biggest thing. Is I mean, I don't want to just get on like when I play acoustic shows. It's like, yeah, that's fun and it's cool, but I feel like it's just very mediocre.
Right.
So like, what you want to do is you really want to impress people to make them want to come back and see you or listen to you online, and it seems like it works. I mean,
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's
just like a
more
lot of
aspect-
dynamic to the
Yeah.
performance. So
It's way a lot more aspects to it.
I'm
I
not
guess
gonna-
I won't say anybody can get up there and play guitar and sing, but not everyone can get up there and just like build a fucking track and then
Facts.
lay the guitar and then sing. And it's like that Mark Rebier dude who's
For sure.
does that crazy stuff.
yeah, a lot of people do it and they do it so well.
Yeah, the
and
looping and
it's really cool to see. I mean, you know, you always watch it when it's there. So
Well, I was a fan before that, but you really won me over with that live performance, and I was like, Trav, do you see what he's doing up there? Like, he literally just made that drum pattern and is playing behind it.
Like
And
you
then
haven't
he
been to an
started
OPHIE show yet, have you?
Bruh, like, you know what? I think that was my first time seeing you live, was that because I've been to places where you were DJing but not actually performing, and that just blew me away.
thank
'Cause
you. Appreciate
Very little artists out there do that.
I'm not gonna lie, like I listened to your project, which we'll definitely talk about specifically, but I listened to your project on Spotify, loved it. Knew you were super talented. Went to see you play at 147, and I was like shook a little bit. I was like, dang, like Mike is super talented.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And I think the thing that's really great about you live is that it seems like you're not trying too hard. You're not forcing anything.
Yeah.
You're just up there doing your thing and kind of in your own little zone, and that makes it a lot easier also to kind of like feed into the performance because it's so authentic. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
I'm glad to hear you say that. Just because like when I'm there just with my guitar, I just feel like I could do so much more, and it just gets kind of boring. I mean, just a guy and his guitar, but yeah. I mean, comparing the live to the record, which I've got a lot of feedback on that. Like, I've kind of put myself behind the music a lot on the record, probably just because I was like afraid to project myself a little more, which I will definitely do on the next record, hopefully. And then live, I don't know, man. I just get up there and just do it. It's weird. I don't know.
There's one record on, and this is with a lot of artists. Sometimes you'll hear them live and you'll be like, oh, they did that way better on the record, or oh, they did this one better live. But there was one song, and I can't remember off top, but I heard it live and I was like, damn, I like his live version better than the record. And hopefully it comes to me before the end of this. I don't even know if you should say thank you. I don't know if that's a good compliment or not, but yeah,
that is a good
I guess that is a good compliment
It
because
is.
it sounded live,
Yeah,
or
you're
good
live,
live.
yeah.
But yeah, I really let's dive into Late Bloomer.
for sure. I was gonna ask you because that's a huge gap of time.
Yeah.
And like, what made you feel like it was time for you to share your art with the world? Because like, I know that can be scary, but was it just like this stuff that I'm making is like I'm super proud of it? Like what was going through your head when you're like I'm putting this out?
Yeah, I would say that. I was like comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. It was finally something that I could be like, okay, I like this. Mm-hmm. And I could put this out and like be okay with it and not really care what other people think about it. And I think it's just like maturity. I mean, you're just like, oh, I don't want people to hear me sing. Like, and then you just start to think about it. You're like, why? Like, who cares? I mean, if that's what you like to do, then let other people see you do it.
For sure.
But yeah, I just finally got like to the point where I was ready in all aspects, like maturity. I had the right space. Like I had all the things I would need to like be comfortable doing it. And I recorded April 2nd, first thing I ever did when I got everything. And I was like, this is okay. It's kind of cool. And then like I went back and listened to it a little bit later. I was like, all right, it's time to do this. So
yeah,
just went with it, you know.
That's a lot of people's like favorite track on the record that I come across. I mean, they're all good to me. I got a chance of hearing Settle Down, obviously, early, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I have to come on this. Like,
yeah.
And
you did.
Gross.
Killed it, dude.
Sound like I didn't mean come in that way. Sorry, guys.
You had to come with it.
You had to bring your A game, Brett. Bring your A game.
But yeah, I remember when I got it, I was just like, I think I should, because you know Hayden Miles, but he's like just big critic. So every time I have something or I want to show him something, I show him, because I've known him for so long, and he'll be like, this sucks dick, or this is awesome. I was like, listen to this thing that Mike Optoff sent me or whatever, and he's just like mind blown, and he's never like that. He'll shit on anyone really fast. And from there,
Thank you, Hayden.
Yeah. So yeah, from there I just wrote
What does
the
he think
record.
about Where Dreams Die?
Man. We'll get into it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
But I also sent that to the video and the song to him early, just so.
Right.
I don't know. He's like my like balance, because I'm like, I don't know if this is great or if this is just average. And
Well, you need somebody to share.
And he like lays
honest
it on
opinions
me.
with.
But yeah, honestly, listening to Late Bloomer, I was blown away. I mean, you did it pretty much in your basement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were all the songs written already?
No. It was purely like a go into the studio and make music. Now, all the songs that were there were, if not like nothing, they were like on my phone, just like me and a guitar, and then took it from there and made it into music. But yeah, it was like a studio project, which is cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always have to be that way, but
Right.
I was gonna ask you about your process, because you do so much. Like you play, everything that you did, you built it from scratch. So like when you're writing a song, is there a certain process you have, or you're just like have an idea and go with it?
Yeah, there's a couple different. I mean, it usually starts with me and a guitar. I mean, always. Sometimes I can start with a drum beat. But I mean, as far as Late Bloomer goes, like a lot of them songs I had been messing with for years. They've been floating around for years, and you just collect them. That's kind of why like it all came together really fast. It's just because I already had those ideas.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the process. Is me and a guitar, mess with it, record it. I mean, add drums. It's different every time. I would think. Just whatever you're feeling.
Always lyrics last, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, vocal melody, kind of like gibberish on the track, just finding like a vibe, and then whatever that song feels like, you can like dig in and be like, what does this make me feel like? What does it make me think of? Like a memory, and then you have to go back to that memory and like really put yourself in that situation to bring out like, a real song, while at the same time like making something that's marketable, or I mean in any way like almost like a product. So it's and you can do purely the way that you feel, or you can do purely a product, or you can be like somewhere in between, which is a good place to be, I think.
Yeah.
Keeps it real.
I got a couple things I want to say and ask about Late Bloomer. So the Settle Down track, it is rumored that Jett scrapped at least one verse, had to rewrite it all. Is that fact? You kept it in your wallet?
He said.
He kept his own verse in his wallet, bruh. Hold up. Is
might
this
be
the
the one.
scrap?
This might be the one of the.
We're getting the exclusive here on the Iron
Settle
Skillet
Down.
podcast. Jett just pulled out his wallet
I'm glad you said that.
and
'cause I forgot it was in
unfolded
there.
a notebook.
Yeah, this is scrapped. All of this is scrapped. This is a whole different verse. And then this was like a start of another verse.
If you guys are listening on streaming platforms, Jett just pulled out a piece of paper from his wallet, and it is actually the scrapped verse of Settle Down.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Probably worth millions.
Wow. We got to frame that. That is the...
I forgot it was in my wallet, so you said it. I'm like, oh, shit.
He's like,
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah,
he
keep
still
that
had
mint.
the same wallet. You
Keep
better
that
keep it
mint.
in there, bro. That's where dreams die.
I mean, we never even used. I never used it.
Brett's wallet is where verses die.
Yeah, for real.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, this
he
is
had
crazy.
that. That was not planned, by the way.
That is weird.
So it was rewritten. I remember you telling me that when you showed
That's
it. to me.
$500 bucks.
Yeah.
$500 bucks.
I don't want
For
it.
the verse.
I'll give you 37 cents for it.
hey.
All right.
That's been in there for.
I want to know.
year. Shit.
I also want to know what your favorite track off Late Bloomer is, Offie.
Ooh, good question. That's tough, man.
Like favorite, it could be the deepest, it could be, you know what I mean, the funnest, or what you like to play most.
It changes, I think. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't really listen to it that much like I used to, but
You probably listen to your head without even having to listen to it.
yeah. Sometimes I go in the basement and like play around with it. I think 50-50 might be my favorite.
Bang bang.
It's grown on me a lot. Love 50/50.
I love. Sorry, I'm cutting you off. I
No,
love
you're good.
Palm and aloe a lot.
Wow.
I get that's crazy that I get a lot of people that say that's their favorite song.
Wow.
I'm just like, that's so weird. I mean, it's like,
I love Settle Down obviously because I'm on it, but I just like shelf it because I'm on it. Not saying it's bad,
Settle
but like
Down's bang, bang.
when I think about like my favorite, I'm like I need to dig deeper into this and like I think they're all really good though. April 2nd's really cool because it's like a double track.
yeah.
It like flips in like half.
It's also
of the
7
track.
minutes long.
Yeah,
It's a long one, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but it's
Started off
awesome.
long.
It felt like a journey when I first heard it. I was like, oh shit! And it sounded like it was like coming to an end, and then it just completely flipped to a whole different side of it. It was really cool.
Thank you.
But they're all really good. Yeah.
The other question, kind of a question. I thought it was cool that you had 2 songs on there called Sun, but one is Sun SON and the other is SUN. I thought that was pretty cool. Did you?
It just happened like that, probably.
I think I really fucked that up. 'Cause
Really?
People are like, I like Sun, and I'm like,
Which one?
which one? And then they gotta like spell it. I'm like, that was so dumb. Why the fuck did I do that?
Which one?
Yeah. It's
O or
stupid.
you?
I had people tell me they don't like that song. And I'm like, which one?
Yeah, which one?
And he put them back to back.
Yeah, it's stupid, but whatever. I didn't expect people to listen to the last part of the album because it's way different.
Mm-hmm.
That part of the album, and
The Sun, the SON is really it's deep, but like I guess I'm not trying to hack on you, but the quality is like it sounds like a little muffled.
oh,
And
the
you were
mixing
like-
is terrible.
And you were like, because I remember talking to you. You're like, I love this song, and that's one of my favorite songs. It's probably my top 3 favorite songs. But you're like, I fucked it up,
Same with Palm and Aloe. There's a lot of timing issues
Yeah.
in the end,
but it's really good.
and that's probably why I like 50-50 so much. It's either that or Fruitless.
My
Because there's less flaws
There's just,
in your
it sounds
mind.
better.
But I
sonically.
honestly like if it was a purely clean $1 million studio record album, I would still love it. But I love it because it has these like small
Imperfections.
imperfection and flaws in it, and I'm like, obviously I've known you forever, but it's like, oh, this dude's human. Like he's fucking.
Oh yeah.
I can like picture you in your basement, just like fucking like creating and jamming out, and that makes it better for me at least.
That's
'Cause
the beauty of old music too.
Yeah,
You can listen to old music and you hear like little mistakes.
yeah, or
Mhm.
just like crackles and
Just
just
makes
like,
it more relatable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like that needs to come back. I think
It does, because now everything's so polished, and that's the expectation.
Everything is perfectly lined up. Everything is perfect.
So
Go back to analog and 4 tracks. And that's all
Yeah.
you got.
a couple months ago, we did the coat drive, which Offie, appreciate you coming out and actually performing for it. But we did the drop off, me, Trav, and Offie, and he mentioned wanting to remix, not remix, but re-engineer and re-release Late Bloomer with a different sound, and updating some sounds and this and that. So maybe that'll be coming in the coming years.
It might be a while.
Might be a little
I gotta
bit
get, like, a
the,
bunch of money
the 10th
first.
anniversary or something.
Hire some engineers to come in and like fix it.
Yeah,
What the
I
fuck?
think
I'm
it's
right
good.
here.
No, I think it's good.
It's lo-fi.
That imperfection in it is like the best part to me. Like it probably takes some people off who are like don't know music or like anything like that, and they're probably like, "Why does it sound like this?" But to me, I'm like, I know the feeling. Like,
Authenticity.
I know how to I know what is in his head. Like to me, it just makes it that much better.
Appreciate that.
But I'm a weirdo.
Well, that's who you want to appeal to. People who really like respect it and understand
exactly.
it. I mean, that's all you can care about.
Yeah, like not someone who listens to 98.3 every day. And they're
yeah, and I just wanted it to be something that only I touched. Like nobody, I mean, except for your verse. But like I wanted it to be completely me. That way I could just say that. Like, this is what I can do and nobody else touching it.
Yeah.
So
I was stoked to be on it. I mean, I think I've hit you up several times before, and we just never ended up making something. And then I didn't even know what to expect because you were like, I think you told me you're like, I got like 3 different songs you might be able to get on. And you sent that one, and I was like instantly like, yeah, this is the one. Like, I don't know. I was just I hadn't heard music from you because I listened to all that Underwater Fire. Like I listened.
He's like, I listened to it.
You put out
something different. It's way different.
What's the song that you put out?
I dropped a single.
A single.
It was Fruitless.
Fruitless, yes. And I was like blown away by it, but I think I like reposted and hit you up, and I was like, this is super dope. But I had no clue that you were gonna drop like a whole project. I just remember being super stoked when I was listening to it. I was like, this is like different. It's refreshing when you hear something different, and like you know the person and they're from the same upbringing, and it's just, I don't know, the whole thing was a cool experience.
It is cool just to be, I mean, all of us, we all do that, and it's cool to hear everybody's work, and that's the best thing about it. I mean, it doesn't matter how big it gets or where it goes. It's like us as a community, we can all just appreciate it, and
you can say you did it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this is like a milestone around here. Like,
it is.
Late Bloomer will go down in history. For whatever it is,
I think another thing to like keep that I want to make sure I like give you props on is like great musician, but you also support so many other people's art. You know what I mean?
Got
like go out of your way to like if I drop a song, like hit me up and be like, yo, this was dope, and like that goes so far.
It does. Yeah.
And like built a playlist just for the people in Winchester who make music to try to shine light on that. Like that's huge, and that's a big deal, and I feel like I definitely want to make sure that I give you props for that because it goes a long way. It means a lot to me for sure.
It's just building a community, and when you do that and you become really close and you start being really creative with each other people on the outside kind of look at that as like, oh man, like I'm going to pay attention to these guys. Like this is really cool. Just the companionship and everything. I mean, that's always a draw for people. And I think that's always a draw for anybody. I mean, look at all the groups that come out and do that kind of stuff. You just stick to it, and it's a beautiful thing to see. So
and positivity sells, like
you have to build it. And
there's been so much hate. There's always hate everywhere, but like I feel like finally this area is starting to come together, and like I like to think that we're like a main glue.
Absolutely, props to you guys.
And I mean, there's so many people to.
Like you're taking part in this too, Alfie.
Yeah, like there's so many people outside that do different things, whether it's artists, photographers, or whatever. We try and bring in pretty much everybody. It doesn't really matter if you make country to rap or whatever. But I think that's what we need to keep doing as a community and bring people together. Like the hater shit is whack as hell. Like if you don't like something, you don't need to hate on it, or you know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is.
I do feel like over the past couple years, like people have been coming together and working together and supporting each other more than like 10 years ago. Like you said, everybody was hating. It was a competition. We was on one side of the bridge with the 540 and you got the zoo on the other side. Like,
we're literally 2 minutes away from each other and we're like, wow, we're doing ours.
But it was all love though, because it was like we rocked with each other. We'd feature for each other, but it was still like a competition. Like I'm trying to be better than them. But where it is now is like, it's everybody's trying to put out their best content, of course, because they want to sound better, but everybody is like supporting and sharing and promoting, and it feels
it's a mutual respect.
Yes, there's a lot more mutual respect nowadays.
And being an artist, you know what an artist goes through and does, so it's that much easier to support and be able to respect their craft.
Facts. So I mentioned OPHIE came out and performed at the Coat Drive. He was also at our Bright Future. No, he was at the Bright Futures, or not Bright Futures, Bright Box. Where we did the bedding essentials and coat or.
Yep, bedding essentials, air mattresses.
Yeah, we did all
stuff.
that. So, you came out, showed love.
The Coat Drive at 147.
And we did the Coat Drive at 147.
You were you were the main part of that because you got us that.
That's kind of my crowd, but I mean, we had
that was like our real first.
We had a real good turnout for that, man. That was a lot of fun.
Like real first
packed.
event.
So much fun when we do those. I miss them now that we're in like quarantine. I'm like, damn, I just want to do some like.
You just want to carry Coach to the car?
Pencil drive.
Pencil
I want to do a pencil drive.
Yeah,
racer drive.
man.
A shoelace drive.
Anything.
If this would be our 4th year for our back to school drive, we have during July or August, and we're hoping to have it. And we hope that you could come out
Absolutely.
and be a part of it and perform, because we had big plans, and we're just hoping all this gets lifted in time and we can still make it happen. So that would be dope.
Absolutely. All my gigs are canceled. I'm out of work, man. So I'll take it, dude.
Big whoa.
We'll pay you in beer.
He said we'll pay you.
Pay me in anything.
In
Any
anything.
food.
We got food.
Trident.
Pay me in Wendy's for the video, man. I was more than happy to accept that. I was always pay me in food. I'll do anything.
So what do you?
Anything.
What's going on? You got anything else? Or?
I got a lot. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, what's next for OPHIE? Like, what do you? I mean, obviously it's a crazy time in the world, so everything's kind of unpredictable at this point. Don't know when shit's gonna open up, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the quarantine. It's weird because I felt like the quarantine would really just set me off to do a bunch of work and really hone in, but it hasn't. It's like I've had so many things that I wanted to catch up on and like work on that I've kind of been worried about that too, just to kind of get it out of the way.
yeah.
But this next, I want to do an album, like get in the studio and do everything, make it sound really good. You gotta have some help with that.
Yeah,
So I got no problem with that. But I've been doing a lot of like studying too, because I want to be much better. I mean, I want to be able to just do unlimited. I just want to like put myself through my music and have that be unlimited.
Yeah.
Because the more you know about something, the more you can do it like
I want to
efficiently.
be able to, like Swiss Army knife. Like someone be like, "Hey, do this," and you'll be like, "Yeah, I can do that. Do that.
I just want to get better. I mean, put out Late Bloomer. I had good feedback, so the next thing I want it to be way better. I mean, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, it's a regular. Yeah.
So I've just been studying. I've been trying to learn music theory and stuff, and studying other artists.
Just because you're not writing and recording music at the time doesn't mean you're not getting farther in your craft and sharpening your skills. Like you said, you've been doing research, learning what other people are doing, this and that. Like those are huge steps
That's
that
a huge
some people
thing.
don't take.
Just listen to music, man. Listen to what's coming out.
It's like you're watching film.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like preparing. Like
and not steal things, but just if you like something, like, oh, I like this vibe, and how's he doing this, or
That's the beautiful thing about music. It's so inspiring.
It is, and it's just a wave, and you just ride the wave. I mean,
That's it.
and everybody's a part of it. It's a universal language. We can all sit here and listen to something and know who that person is to a certain extent, just based on the music.
Yep.
So we all come from different backgrounds too. So I mean, that's the beautiful thing about it.
Respect. Well, talking about waves, it seems that you and Jett Johnson have created a new wave that has come to land in the form of Where Dreams Die. Let's get some insight and some background on how this happened. Jett, I'd like your take first.
I don't know, just being normal dumb Jett in the studio.
You found a beat?
I found a beat. I just wrote a song, and I sang on the chorus partially, I guess. Or harmonized, I guess. And I was like, man, we had already done Settle Down. It had so much love, and it was just easy for us to make that song, even though we weren't together for either of the tracks. Well, I guess he came through and laid but we weren't together for the first one. But it almost sounded like we were together in the same spot and recorded it. But I can't sing that great, and obviously he's a great musician and can sing and play guitar and do all these other things. So I hit him up and was like, come through. I'd already wrote the verses and the hook, pretty much laid down the whole song.
Yeah, it was easy.
Yeah,
did all the work.
Told him to come through, and it was just like, lay it down. We laid it we laid like something down, like a rough version. We were trying to figure out just like the ins and outs, like the ad libs and echoes and stuff like that. And we kind of just like came to a halt for like that night. And he was like, send it to me. I'll go fuck around with it. And I told him like at the end of the beat, like rip a solo. And he's like, yeah, I can do that, whatever. A couple days later, maybe, I don't know how long it was, he sent it back and bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
It was
fire. It's so much fun. Like, so many people hit me up like, me, you guys need to make an album. Like, you need to do all
That's
this
an
shit.
idea.
Yeah, I think we really could, but it's all organic. Like he said earlier, like I've known him forever. We may have never been like, you know, like super close or anything, but we were literally on the same little league football team when we were like fucking 8 or something like that.
History.
Like, and I mean, you're a year younger than us, us or me and Travis. But yeah, we've always known each other and just cool with each other. We all know the same people. I don't know. It was just organic. I don't really know how to explain it.
You could hear it in the music.
Yeah, we just did it. He sent it back to me. I probably sat on it for like another month maybe and just kind of tweaked it out.
You did sit on it for
Way
a little
too
bit.
Kind of, yeah.
That's okay.
I kind of tweaked it out and just like listened to it 8 million times. And then I found this abandoned mansion online and was like, I don't put shit out often, so we
Perfect.
We
It was awesome. A lot of people ask me where that is. I'm like, I don't know.
yeah.
I was blindfolded on the way there.
They
Can't
put a
give up
bag
the
over my head and
location.
dragged me in.
No, it was a lot of fun. It was cool that we were shooting a video, but I would have just went there to go like walk around.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was so much fun. We were only there for like 2 hours. I mean, it was a bitch to get inside there.
I saw the behind the scenes footage of you guys walking through
Like
like
the
all those
bamboo forest.
bushes and
Bamboo forest.
yeah,
Fucking
it
bamboo.
looked like
that
a
was a lot of
struggle.
fun. But yeah, we put that out yesterday, and it's doing pretty good
It's
so
doing
far.
good. You pulled Jett out of retirement.
I know, right?
It's not an easy thing to do.
Oh, he pulled himself out. You know, he's been working, man. He's
Yeah.
I know,
ready.
I got tons of stuff.
I'm excited.
I'm about to say, he tried to pull him out for the 147 show, and Jett wasn't having it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting up there DJing for OPHIE while he's performing, and I'm like, Jett,
I felt bad.
yo.
Next subject.
He's like, I couldn't do it.
But no, back to Where Dreams Die. It was a crazy concept. It was a crazy song. And then OPHIE comes through and lays guitar tracks behind the hook. Did he lay something behind the second verse?
No, he did lay something behind the first verse, but
We didn't
just
end
me
up-
being like
yeah.
stingy, I was like, I don't want that. No offense to him or anything, I'm just stingy. But he laid guitar behind the hook, and he did the hook and the echoes, and then
That's
he
what
did
it
the
was.
solo, and I don't know, it's fire.
Yeah.
A lot of people have reached out to me and just like my grandmother like messaged me like an old woman was like, I listened to your new song, it's great, and the lyrics are very strong and powerful, and like
Facts.
I'm obviously saying like fuck and stuff like that, like not I think I say it once, but like sold drugs.
Yeah,
Shit like that.
Thanks, Graham.
I was gonna say that
And,
one,
like,
but
Mind you, this woman sent me a Bible on my birthday like a month ago.
Yeah.
I love you, Grandma. But it was just cool to be like,
For her.
doesn't matter what I'm saying or the context of it, that someone can just take that and be like, I can understand, and like this is good. And you know, it was just cool to like weird because I don't think anyone like that has really reached out to me before. And
Yeah.
so many people have hit me up about his solo and being like, oh, that's what I was gonna get to. Hayden, I sent it to him, and him and his girlfriend are just like completely blown away like last week, and they listened to it like 100 times, they said, in one night. And I was just like, all right, this is time to yeah.
I mean, if grandma likes it, then you're gold.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. My dad reached out to me. Just, you know, it's pretty good when some old heads hit you up.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like they reach out and they say it's good.
I mean, I
So-
think like the theme of the song is so relatable to. I'm sure it's relatable to everybody, but I think we all know like people or have experienced like wanting to get to a certain point in your life, but not being there yet, and just being frustrated and then having to kind of settle. And that's kind of what I hear you talk about. And like the line that gets me is like when you're talking about like 4-year degrees, got your money on freeze. I'm like, yep, let me tell you how I've been to school for 6 years and it literally is sucks. You know, like, and painting that picture is so relatable. You know, like I feel that. I'm like, damn, yeah, it really is like that, you know? And then him coming in and like just layering that.
He added the icing. Like, the song was good, and I was like, this needs more like this needs something, and it's obviously more of a laid back song, like kind of serious. It's not anything like crazy, and I mean, I just hit him up, and he did the damn thing and did the solo at the end, and then we did the video. I don't know. It kind of feels like a blur. Like, I don't know.
Well, it all happened.
It happened
happened the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, it happened really quickly, and it was just good time. I'm glad you hopped on it, man.
Dude, it was awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
We're trying to promote it right now, so
Go listen to it.
Yeah.
go
check it
listen
out.
to it. It's all streaming.
Listen to it a couple times.
Yeah.
This podcast is not about me, though. It's about the man
Sure it
to the
is.
left of me.
Where
Yo,
can they find you at?
It's not my podcast. I'm just kidding. Jett Johnson everywhere.
He said, hey.
Just Google it.
Yeah,
It'll
just
be number
Google it.
one.
You can find out where the wild things are.
Yo, so if you could shoot, like, were you happy with Settle Down, or would you, like, have preferred a different song, like a different beat that I sent you?
Oh, no. I
So,
was
like, Settle Down was, like, the one you would want to get on if you listened to it?
But you only sent me one. I think you said, like, I have 3 different ones, and then you sent me one, which, like, wasn't bad. But when I heard it, I'd been drinking at Hayden's for copious hours and amounts of alcohol. And in the morning, I was like, oh, Mike sent me, and we were, like, on the porch, like, probably drinking again to try and not be hungover. I'm like, let me play this. Like, get the Bluetooth speaker. And, like, we just played it. You had, like a rough version of it or whatever. And we played it, and, like, there's probably 3 or 4 people with us, and everyone was just kind of sitting there like, whoa. And then I got nervous. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I have to really,
I
like,
got to bring my A game.
bring my A game. I was like,
So that was the one,
fuck.
though. Like, that's the one song. Because I thought so. I'm like, this is...
No, that was the perfect, like, because
cool.
I hear them all, and, like, I'm sure I could rap on all of them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Find a way.
Find a way to rap on all
Yeah.
of them. But, like, that was the one that made the most sense to me when I hear, and it's just really, like, laid back. Like, the beat is just, like, I don't know. But it took me forever to fucking finish it. I sent you the final version, like, 5 days before you dropped it.
I remember him running in the studio like, I gotta send this shit to Mike.
Like
Oh, yeah,
freaking
you're
out.
right, you're right.
Like, you were like, I'm dropping this next week. Like, can you send this back to me? And I'm like, look, like, this is a completely unused verse. There's probably way more in my phone. Like,
Yeah.
it probably took
I
me
remember that.
3 or 4 different fucking.
I just figured if
verses.
you didn't have it ready, then I would just drop a remix with you on it.
I know, and I didn't want that because I was like, man, I'll be super unreliable if someone sends me a song. And it took like over a month for me to like finish it. But yeah,
But it
it
came
came
out great.
together.
Came out
And
great.
I wish we did a video to that too. That'd be cool.
I was about to say, like, when we shooting that?
It's fucking hot.
Why not?
I don't know. Should we? I mean, I feel like it's too late.
No, it's never
why,
too
Why
late.
would it be too late? Didn't Elton John just come out with videos for songs that he did in the 70s?
He's also Elton John.
All right, well, that's awful.
We did Thankful a year later.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn, Thankful was that old?
We
Yeah.
recorded Thankful, we dropped it on Thanksgiving. The next year, we reshot the video for it.
I don't know.
Wow.
Let's just leave it. Like, me and Mike are gonna keep collaborating and making stuff. It's just organic. Like, we're friends. I don't know. I don't feel like we need to go backwards, you know?
For sure.
Like, not saying that's a bad thing, but like,
I agree with you.
yeah, like we're just gonna
People have
keep.
been asking for a video for stuff. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
probably too late. I mean,
Yeah, it's been over a year.
people are probably tired of it.
Yeah.
So
This was your first video, wasn't it?
it was.
How
Yeah.
was that experience? Because I remember talking to you about like visuals and stuff because I knew you hadn't made any. So how was that experience, like first
was-
music video?
It was weird. I mean, I'm like, what do I do? You know?
Yeah.
But it's it's fine.
I'm easy to work with, right?
Travis
Yeah.
does it.
Yeah.
He
It's-
does all the work. So
It was pretty much like you just performing. Like, you had a guitar and shit. It's not like we were asking you to be like.
Well, me and-
I'm the dumbass who had to do all that. Like,
Well, we crawled into the place first, and then we had to go back out to get the guitar. So then me and Mike went back by ourselves to finish the shooting it.
Yeah.
Brett was outside smoking cigarettes.
no, because we had to hop down this like, I don't know. It was probably like a
Sketchy.
14-foot wall.
6 or 7 foot wall to like. The whole setup was just like fuck.
Sketchy.
Like,
And it was
hard.
raining.
it was,
Yeah.
it's hard work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, but it was worth it. And we were there already, so I was like, I don't give a fuck if I have to break down a wall in this bitch or
We're
like
getting in.
get in.
Kool-Aid
Because it
man,
was
that
easy.
shit.
It was easy to get into the. Well, it wasn't easy, but it was easier to get into the tennis court. It's the separate tennis court. This guy was a baller apparently, but we did that, and then we came back out and we were kind of like, there was a certain entrance into the pool, but it was like where all the fucking like water heater and all that shit was for the pool.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like a weird spot, and you could not get the fucking bamboo sticks were like
So close.
this far apart from each other. Like I couldn't squeeze my fat ass through there. Like, and then we just went through further around the house, which is like on the side of a hill, and just like found our way in. And I don't know, it just ended up dope. And then Travis, did his magic. And
Came
we
out
just, it looks good.
Fun fact: there's so much CGI in that video, but you will never notice it.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah, because I had to the board behind Brett when he's on the on the
remember what
diving
it
board.
said?
Remember what it
Yes,
said?
because I was looking at pictures last night and I
Yeah.
was like,
All that's gone. I
You
had to do that frame by frame throughout the whole video. Take all that out
It says where dreams die now. He put where.
on one of
Oh,
them.
really?
Yeah, you
On
can
one,
I didn't
really
even notice that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
one scene you can see where I actually put "Where Dreams Die" on that board.
dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
because it said
Can
something.
y'all pull that screenshot
Gnarly.
and post that? Like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It said something that we can't repeat.
Yeah, it was bad. But
bad.
Trav
It
went
was
through.
bad.
But I kind
all
of
the-
wanted you to keep it in, like
Nah, I was
It
not.
would have been
dude, it
bad.
looked
It
bad.
would have been bad.
that big dick energy. Like,
Did you notice any other like bad writing?
There was not that bad. That
it
was
like
the worst
penises
one.
and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
that
I
was
saw
the
some penises.
that was the worst one, and it was so noticeable. Like,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I could not have it there because it would be center of attention during that whole shot.
Yeah.
So I was like, I spent hours
Just covering that
just
up.
covering it up.
So crazy.
Good thing you did that.
Yeah.
It was a good time though. Overall experience, just making the song and the video was just, I don't know, just always feel nothing feels forced. Like it's just.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
with the
just easy.
masses in saying that we need an OPHIE and Jett Johnson mixtape,
I'm sure
album,
something-
EP, whatever y'all got. We need it.
Yeah, we'll do it. I'm sure. I mean, it's like I'm saying, we're friends. We both make music. It's easy.
It'll keep happening.
Not easy, but it comes organic. It'll happen.
Yeah,
For
it
sure.
will.
But we also make our own solo shit, so it's not like we're not fucking Corona and Lime or whatever that group was.
Swayze, yeah.
Swayze. They were pretty tight, but
They were.
Yeah.
maybe we will be. We'll be fucking
Swayze.
coronavirus and Lime.
Oh
do it.
God.
Coronavirus and Lyme disease.
Y'all are
Fucked up. I got Lyme
wild.
disease. Fuck you.
All right, so let's get back to OPHIE here, the man of the podcast. So you got a lot going on with music. You DJ, you bartend, which I mean, I feel like that helps a little bit in the music aspect of knowing what people like to hear and this and that. You work with iHeartRadio. That's huge. You got a media degree. This guy plays like 3-4 different instruments, has a voice of an angel.
Well, thank you.
He didn't bloom late for nothing. Like, I'm excited to see where you take it. I know you said you're working on new music. Of course, everyone can't wait to see that. What else you want to tell the people, man?
Let me think.
I mean, we're about to be on the other side of this whole quarantine thing, and everything's going to start to open back up. Like, what are you going to be doing? Like, what's the next?
Everything's gonna be different, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take a while for things to go back to normal if they ever do. I think.
Mhm.
I mean, I think initially people will rush out of their homes,
Oh yeah.
but for the long term, I think the music industry, all entertainment stuff, it's
Mhm.
all gonna change. So just gotta be ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
Just ready to adapt with it. Yeah, like I said, I'm not really working on anything right now, which is kind of disappointing. But I feel like when I'm ready, it'll all
It'll
come
happen.
out. It'll happen fast. But I just
You're
feel like,
working towards that though.
yeah, just trying to get inspired, because I don't want to force anything. I just want it to kind of just come out when it's
Mhm.
ready, which is really difficult.
But that's the way it should be. You don't
Yeah.
want to force music,
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that's it, man. Just thank you guys for what you do. You give people a platform
Big whoop.
to just promote themselves, and it's like the most important thing. We've never had anything like this
Yeah.
around here, so
Well, we're happy to bring it.
Yeah, definitely.
it's awesome.
So, OPHIE's got Late Bloomer, his debut project, out now on all streaming platforms. they just dropped the single Jett Johnson and OPHIE, Where Dreams Die. They got the music video on YouTube now and on their platforms. Singles on all platforms. I don't know. That kind of wraps it up.
It does.
Y'all got anything else?
Just make sure you guys check this stuff out for sure.
Yeah.
It's great quality music from an awesome person from your town. So definitely show them some love. Go on Spotify or find them on Instagram. Check their stuff out because that means more than you guys could ever know. So definitely peep that stuff.
For sure.
But Mike, thank you for coming on. You guys killed it. Where Dreams Die is running up. You guys have no idea. We're the Iron Skillet. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.